We are making bundles today. I've had a very busy week here in March. My February, I had the busiest February in as long as I've been tracking my sales. March has always been kind of a big month, but man, it started off slow. It was so slow that I would call my number just to make sure the phone was ringing. And it was. Part of my focus has been to increase my bundle sale. And while I haven't really come through with that, I have been busy this week. I've made 2 sales calls to companies that I thought would be appropriate businesses for my bundles, and the one seems to be very promising. I will get you some updates on that. Honestly, I didn't even know that these, it was a hardware store. I didn't even really know about it. I was driving to this other place that I thought would be a good customer for me, and I saw it out of the corner of my eye, so I did a quick U-turn and I pulled in. And it's a hardware store chain, and I had my bundles in the truck. And I first scoped out the situation to see if they even sold firewood. I went in and I started talking to the young lady behind the counter, and sure enough, they did have firewood. It was out on the sidewalk. I missed it. I walked right by it. But talk about inferior product. It was all pine. It looked to be something that they got from like their central warehouse. It was a chain store, kind of a hardware store. So that doesn't mean, that they still won't buy my firewood. My selling point was it's a local business that, some businesses are real big on that, and that's like a selling opportunity for them with their customers. But the bundles I had with me, man, they were looking nice. And I sat mine down next to theirs, and it was just an obvious improvement for what they were selling. Really, all of their firewood was pine. It looked kiln dried. It was dry, but their bundles were about half the size of mine. They were professionally done, but they just didn't look good. But the bundle was feather light compared to mine, which are all hardwoods. So I had my business card. Let me show you what I have, okay? While we're on the topic, I have my bundles. These were the ones that I had, and they look great, and they're seasoned, they're dry, it's all hardwood. But I keep a sales flyer with me, and it's got my business cards in it. But I have a sample label in here. I show them, and I also leave them with one of these cut sheets that I made. My good friend Melissa Nagy, I have her link in the description below, and I always leave this with a potential customer. It just looks great. It makes it clear, that I am for real. I'm not just some hobbyist that makes bundles on the side, that I'm serious about this. Our product looks awesome, and I was able to leave this cut sheet in their hand with my business card. I really poured it on. Well, it turns out they have multiple locations. So they have hardware stores in multiple towns, and if they are looking to improve, I think that I certainly would have gotten that contract. But let's see. If I don't hear back from them, this is where how persistent are you going to be? And this is from my experience, and I have this professional standard. I call it no answer is an answer. So am I going to follow up with them and possibly pester them into getting the sale? Probably not. Different industries have different standards, and I don't know, probably if I had a sales team and I was paying people to close deals, you know, to go out and find these accounts, I would probably expect them to follow up. But I don't know if the owner is going to, because, you know, at what point does good salesmanship become pestering? But here I am, guys. I have come out to the driveway because the ground, okay, it is freezing out here, but the ground is a little soft. When you stand in one spot, you work up a lot of mud. So I've brought everything out onto the driveway. I have a trailer load of wood. This is dry wood that's been sitting here. And I will be wrapping this. And I'm using my Go Fast wrapper. And I still have the stretch wrap that I don't like. I'm just burning through this. This is going to a grocery store. They don't care to have my labels, so I'm not going to put them in. And I'm just going to burn up this stretch wrap and get rid of it. So this is blown stretch wrap. That's the stuff that's super loud. It even has like a glue, kind of a tacky feel to it. I just don't like it. I have a link in all my descriptions for the stretch wrap that I recommend, and there's a coupon code there too. And it is the 90 mil, right? Or is it 90 gauge, 90 something cast stretch wrap. Awesome stuff. I highly recommend that. It's a thinner gauge, it's real stretchy, and that's what these machines do, is they stretch that stretch wrap, and that really squeezes the logs together and makes a nice tight bundle. You know, I am in transition still from where this place used to be, my wood yard. I've obviously moved to that new location. When I first got this wrapper, I moved it over there, but you know, I just wasn't in a position yet to make good bundles, so I brought it back here because I still have a lot of wood stacked up, and I need a roof. You know, and it's just, let me get through all of this wood that's here before we move production full-time over to the new wood yard. I do think once the weather breaks for the season, I'll be moving everything over there. I got a helper who's interested in making bundles for me. And then as I keep getting more accounts, you know, I think the time will come too where we can keep an inventory of these things. They won't sit around so long, because what I learned when you make bundles, if you have an inventory of them, the stretch wrap can start to go slack, and then they're just not appealing. And but you know, as my sales increase, as we're moving more bundles, I can afford to have an inventory of these. We can just keep moving them. I had told you before, I think the Go Fast is awesome. It took me a while to get used to it. I like to make my bundles. I like to have the stretch wrap right here at 3 o'clock. Well, this one you got to stop on a dime. Go Fast does have some upgrades where there's a return to home function on it, but I get by with it. If you get it out of sync, you can just move it and get it right back to 3 o'clock and then just get started again. On my last video, guys, I was talking about that missing market for a lot of firewood machines. It's a market that I call the home production, and I really do think that, you know, the machines should be pointing at something that makes wood for bundle quality wood. Even if you're not doing bundles, if you're doing residential, my assumption is a sole proprietor, a person that's just looking to make money on the side, my assumption is you want to sell value-added firewood and go for a high margin, because, you know, a sole proprietor probably doesn't have the ability, the machines, the space, the supply to sell volume. So you try to maximize everything you can, and selling bundles is certainly one way to do it. And if you do get in a position where you can start cranking out bundles, you want machines that can complement your wrapping program. So if you start with bags, if you start with a hand crank, I think the time will come where you want to get a powered wrapper. You have your foot pedal. It's just nicer to run. It's just easier on you. And if you're cranking out a lot of bundles, an electric wrapper starts to pay for itself. But here we are. We're making bundles, and this could be you if you're looking to get into the firewood business. I had always said, you know, if the Martians were to come and steal all my firewood machines, I would get back into the business, but I would probably go really hard after the bundle market. I think that's where the money's at. But I got into the restaurants. They're my bread and butter right now. Then I got into high-end residential. But I see no reason why I shouldn't be a big player in my area for bundles. I am in position to do it. I have the desire to do it. And I think those are the two things for a recipe for success. And oh, by the way, whoever buys these bundles, they're getting dynamite wood. This wood is very dry. It's seasoned. It's been stacked for a while. It's clean. There's no mud or mushrooms on these. It's just nice looking firewood. If I had the other stretch wrap on the Go Fast right now, I would be able to talk to you while I'm wrapping this, but it's too loud. All of us poor souls in Ohio got teased with 70-degree weather. It was 1 week ago today. It was 74 degrees. And then we're back into the 20s. And it just takes it out of you. But let's talk about Go Fast for a second, guys. I've really come to love this machine. It is tough. It is productive. It's quiet. I like the wheels. I can move this around. When I have this over at the wood yard, it can handle the bouncy ground with the gravel. It has a heavy-duty electric motor on it. It's gear-driven. Excellent. The person you want to talk with at Go Fast, if you're interested in a wrapper, is Austin. And I have his information in the description, and you can just call him on the phone. He would love to talk to you. And I was talking with Austin, and he said, that they're selling these. The people are very interested in them. And there's a couple that's already sold, and they'll be coming to the expo to pick them up. It is cold out here. My ears are numb from the cold. Some people like using a box cutter. This could probably work with a magnet, you know, up here. And I used to. I tried everything. I kept like a little screwdriver where I would poke it and get it to tear. But I've just found that the karate chop works best for me. But maybe I like that karate chop because I'm a firewood ninja. Or maybe not. And that is it. So think about this. This seriously took me like 15 minutes to make this many bundles. This was really fast. And I am just saying, if you're looking to get into the firewood market, bundles is the way to go. I would stay away from all these national retailers. Even if you do get into one, you know, they are not going to pay you as much. Try to find your locally owned grocery stores, hardware stores, gas stations. That's where the money is. And if you're serious about your bundle business, it's like you always have your business card with you, but I think you always keep a couple bundles with you too. Keep them in your trunk. If you happen to be somewhere, you never know when a sales opportunity exists, and then you're ready to go. If you're interested in those cut sheets too, that is something Melissa Nagy can do for you. And there is a ton of businesses in firewood that she has done through this channel, help people with their branding, with their logos. And these are the kind of things that she can help you out with as well. Okay, guys, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed bundles. I'm hoping for warmer weather. And then if you're interested in one of these, give Austin a call at Go Fast. Great machine. All right, I hope everyone has a great day.